Welcome on in as we get closer and closer to the official drop of the puck for the first PWHL hockey season. Things are happening pretty quickly, so I thought we'd give you an update on all things PWHL. In my last video, we kind of tore apart the names that had been registered. As of yet, they haven't been announced, and I have to think that some of the Twitter feedback and the fans letting them know that these names weren't the greatest might have had them hit pause. We did, of course, get the jersey reveals for all the teams, and the reactions were not negative, but just a little underwhelmed. A little like, yeah, they're all kind of the same with that diagonal name down the front, and the colors are a little on the dull side. It's been said that these will not be the permanent jerseys. The word temporary wasn't used, but they're not permanent, so there is some work going on behind the scenes. And after all, one of the things about starting this league is that the focus is on the players, the game, and growing the crowd, the audience, building a relationship with the community. Things like names and logos and merch are going to be important to that, but not at the cost of not actually dropping the puck, taking care of the players, having coaching and staff in place, getting arenas and schedules worked out. And so that's where they put their attention and energy for the first couple of months, and credit to everybody involved in the league. They are going to drop the puck in January of 2024. That's crucial. Like they said, you can't win the game in the first period, but you can lose it. So we're in the first period, the puck's dropping, and so far fans are kind of figuring out who's who on each team, getting to know where the games are, the tickets, the streaming, and just starting up that initial phase. So I'm going to keep my criticism at a minimum. So this video is just going to look at a couple of the major things announced, and then I'll have separate videos so you can check out each team and see what the storylines and training camp headlines were for them, who's on the roster, where they're going to play, and where you can catch them. So training camps did get underway a couple of weeks ago, and first cuts were made. That was one of the big storylines. All teams had to reduce their roster down to 27 players. That's including drafted players, invited players, and already signed players, of course. By December 11th, all rosters will be cut down to 23 players. Another great piece of news is that the PWHL will be taking part in the NHL All-Star Weekend with a 3-on-3 showcase. That will be in Toronto along with the NHL All-Star Game on Thursday, February 1st. It will be sponsored by Canadian Tire, and it'll be the All-Stars from the first season of the PWHL. So that's exactly the kind of crossover that we want. As I said, this is first period stuff. This is laying the foundation, and so far so good, I have to say.
League, and we are the state of hockey. So I don't have low expectations. I have very high.
So far, it looks like all the teams are developing their own identities. There definitely are some strong local flavors to just about all of the teams, especially I would say in Toronto, Minnesota, and Montreal. As far as Ottawa, they're a little all over the map with international flavors and players. New York kind of has a sneaky young roster, and Boston just took the best player available no matter what. I think they've got one of the highest skilled rosters, that's for sure. So that's the identity as of right now. Of course, the team colors and then the jerseys were announced, as I said. Players seemed excited to get posing in those, and they all wanted to get to camp and get to know each other. Team chemistry and new teammates from different backgrounds, ages, countries, maybe never played together. Maybe that's why some GMs did opt for that strong local or national team flavor to build in that familiarity right away. And then you've got the PHF versus the PWHPA player storyline, and it is a storyline. There looked like there was some bad blood from fans more so than players, that the PHF wanted to be just a little bit more recognized, included, kind of given credit for the foundation that they built. And hopefully some of the talk around the draft has settled down, like Michaela Grant-Mentis and Madison Packer, who was the Riveters captain. Those players did get signed and are most likely going to be on the team. Hopefully there'll be a nice blend. They're going to be some of the most skilled players. And then goaltending was another storyline for sure, with a lot of the teams taking a slightly different approach, whether it was grabbing their goalies right away in the signings and draft like Montreal and Boston did. So the centralized training camps has actually worked out really well, just to get a look at some of these players playing with and against each other. If you want to stay tuned for all things PWHL, this might be the place. We'll see you in the next one.